Okay, so here we've been asked to work out the equation of this line shown. So the equation of all straight lines can be written in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient, the steepness of the line, and c is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is always the easiest, or well, if you've got the line, is the easiest thing to read off. So make it clear to the examiner straight away that you can recognize that the y-intercept is 4 as it intersects the axis at the point 0, 4. So we've got the y-intercept where the line hits the y-axis already. Now the gradient, use the letter m to represent gradient, is the change in y divided by the change in x. And it's the steepness of the line. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter where you do this, but this is typically where students might go wrong in a question like this. So this question's a little bit difficult because it's not clear which points this line goes through exactly. So my advice would be choose a point where the coordinates are very easy to read off. So it's quite clear that the coordinates, that line definitely goes through the point 0, 4. But for example, if you look here, when x is 1, it's not quite clear what the y-coordinate actually is. And again, it does look here like it goes through the point 2,5, and that might well be right. But to avoid making mistakes, what I would suggest is picking a point to help you calculate the gradient that's maybe a little bit further along the line. Now, it does look like this line goes exactly through this point, which is the point 8, 8. So what you need to do and determine between these 2 points is thinking about what the change in y is between these 2 points. So by how much have the y coordinates increased, and then also by how much have the x coordinates increased. Places that students typically go wrong, first of all, just always check the scale along the bottom. So you can see here that from here to here, we've gone from 0 to 8. So this is 8 units along here. Here, the y-coordinate is 4 at this point, and the y-coordinate is 8 up at this point, so we've got an increase here of 4. Now, a classic error that we see in exam situations is students then see 8 and a 4, do 8 divided by 4, getting a gradient of 2. However, that is not the case. The change in y, that's the vertical change as this line has happened here, is 4. The change in the x coordinates is 8, so it's 4 divided by 8. That is not the same as 8 divided by 4. When you write that calculation like this, you can see 4/8 is the equivalent of a half. So the gradient of this line is a half. So now to work out the equation of the straight line, remembering that all we now need to do is slot in our values of the gradient and y-intercept. Our value of m we've just worked out is a half, and what that means is for every 1 square you go across, you go up half a square. X plus the y-intercept, which is 4. So the equation of this line is y equals a half x plus 4. Remembering to write the x in there also, because that is commonly left out.